Good morning, and welcome to Attack. Could you give me the little thing? Could you hand me the... Sorry, I just...
This?
Yeah. No.
You want the little thing. This? My Switch? The monitor? PS5 controller? My coffee?
The only possible thing... Oh, hand me that Dark Cloud 2 instruction manual, quick!
Oh, there's notes. Look at, I have notes from a long time ago.
Really?
So, in Dark Cloud 2, there's a part where you have to build a garden up and put, like, trees and stuff and, like, a road, and it has to fit very perfectly in a very small space, and there's not much wiggle room. Those of you that watched my Dark Cloud 2 streams know. I had to draw myself a map.
Neat.
Here's my little map. And I use symbols to stand in for the names of the things.
We only recently found Mal's Dark Cloud 2 instruction manual.
Uh-huh.
It was in the case for Shadow of Destiny. So...
Ooh, another one! Oh, this was how to recruit NPCs. For your train party. Where to find them, and what they needed. Man, my handwriting looks like mine, but is worse than it is now.
So your handwriting's gotten better?
Yeah.
Well, that's generally good. Sorry, I realized I never turned the air up. I was like, man, it's cold in here.
It's the Shadow of Destiny manual. That'll tell you the next Monday game.
I think that manual is also in here. Yes, it is. It was just, there were two manuals in here. Did you ever look at the manual?
For that? Yeah.
Okay. Some of the manuals for old games are just fascinating, or weird.
Or bad.
Or bad. Some are bad. Like the snack.
Experience the unpleasantness of Tiny Eddie's Tar Pit Slurry Crisps.
No, thank you.
Experience the unpleasantness.
They are.
Thousand Bits from Elvin Scout says, good morning and good vibes from Florida. Not sure what the weather's going to be, but I'm sure it'll be nice.
Hot.
Anyways, something snack divination, Cassie Forth the Bones of Fate, Sir Edward of diminutive stature. It's Tar Pit Slurry Crisps. I don't think you can eat that. Like a tar pit
is tar.
And I'm not sure, but I think you probably can't. Remember when we were talking about gasoline and how you can't drink it?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty similar, actually. I don't think you can eat tar.
Yeah.
Renee, geez, live a little. See, that's the thing. You won't. You'll die. Or maybe you'll live a little. And then that'd be it, actually. Just a little tiny bit. We got 43 months from Pokemon Princess, 54 from Lost Vagabond, 70 from Gold Mage, 80 from Last Tuesday Forever, 26 from Haley 92, 59 from Elfie Goldfish, 54 from Nomi Bookworm, 1984, 30 from Silver Case, 44 from Galactic Remix, 63 from Mr. Squidtopus, 61 from The Thunderstriker, 67 from NG Bin, 60 from Maya Rails. That's a 5. Congrats on 5. 56 from The Bassoonist, 63 from Shadowlance, 39 from NJC5, 26 from Strawberry Hearts, 59 from Siraj Gandesha, 300 Bits and Radio Dread, who says, testing clowns for latex allergy.
I've been dealing with a lot of latex lately, and it's made me very nervous.
What's your perception of living/working on a cruise ship? When you're on a cruise ship, I hope you don't get seasick. that's probably the biggest thing I think of. I hope you don't get seasick, because every day you gotta work. And if you have to throw up, that seems like it would be a big bummer. Working on a cruise ship, that's what I think of. I just think of rocking. I guess if you work on a cruise ship, you don't get seasick. Because why would you do it? Right? Also, hi, Danny.
Hi, Daddy.
Sea legs are a real thing. 6,000 from Danny. It says, YouTube Premium let me keep up on vlogs this contract, so I don't need as much of a catch-up this time. Happy to be back as always. I'm assuming
Welcome
that they're...
back.
First off, welcome back. Second off, I bet there are people that work on a cruise ship that do get seasick. Mm-hmm. There must be. Cruise ships are large. So I assume that there's probably at least some people that they're working on the ship and they're just like, well, I'm sick. Because anytime I've been on a ship, there are pills for that. That's fair. Otherwise, I feel like living or working on a cruise ship would be an interesting experience. That's the biggest thing that comes to mind, is because you are going to be in like really close contact with your coworkers. So if you're like a people person and you feel comfortable with your coworkers, then I think it could be a good time. But it also means like if there's any conflict, that it's going to be like, it really needs to be resolved because you're in close quarters. It's very fun and supremely exhausting. Behind the scenes with the crew, it can get kind of soap opera-y. Yeah.
I can imagine that.
I can imagine that.
Mm-hmm. I do think that's true with a lot of professions behind the scenes. But I imagine that especially because, like, you're all in close quarters all the time.
Any job where, yeah, you have to live with your coworkers is going to be like that. But the cruise ship is a great example because not only are you in close quarters, but you're also, like, trapped. Like, you're out in the middle of nowhere, so... Especially if your roommate is someone on your immediate team. Yeah. Hope you like them. Neat. What other jobs are there where you are living with your
I mean, a
coworkers?
flight crew, some sort of...
No, that's a good one.
Sort of, because they do tend to, I think, get, like, paired together a lot.
Yeah, they do, and they, like, they'll be at the same hotels and stuff. Obviously, like... Any ship-based thing, honestly. Any ship thing.
There's someone I know that was in the military, and they were one of the people that had to go on the submarines that go way, way, way deep and sit there for a long, long, long time and, like, have no outside contact.
I think that would be rough.
Yeah. They had kids.
On the boat?
No, on land.
Well, that's... I wasn't sure. I was like, really? Children just trapped down there in the submarine? Renee says, I mean, Dieter is a bomb tech. He's very close with his coworkers. They have a very dark sense of humor. I think, like, that should be standard for a bomb tech, though. Personally. We got 50 months from Genesis, 60 from Berry Crepes. That's another 5. Congrats on 5. 58 months from Arpega. 81 months at Tier 2 Gold Toast from Drek. Oh my god.
What's that rumble from far away? I think I hear a lot of subs. How many subs could it be? Oh my god, it is 50! 50 subs! 50 subs! Oh my goodness, it's 50 subs! I appreciate all the support! And everybody appreciates their gift subs! Thank you!
Sriracha says, it's payday and I'm having a bad day. I'm sorry.
Siraj, I saw your message in the Discord. So let me start by saying good vibes, because I've seen it and I know and I can understand the source of the bad day. So I'm gonna start there, and then I am going to read 50 gift subs, probably not in one breath.
Don't.
First off, don't tell me what to do, but you are right. We'll see if I can get more than halfway, though. There were 50 gift subs from Siraj. 2. Injection Pay to Win, King Manny, Joey H04, Silver Raven 275, Ryu Sane, General Munchkin Man 5, Dragon Chew 1, Chugga Conroy, Solilium, Shade Traveler, True Tears X, Duganza, Tabercat. That's Carly. Look, it's Uncle Tony, Born 96, Dave Barcourt, Game Prime, Cloud Rye, Brush the Swashbuckler, Viper Gun, Michael 4D45, Israela XOX, The Skimmer 9, Beckett Brass, Awari Sun, Alright Anthony, D-Knob 98, Superstardom, Adster 1005, Clary Rocks, Paul Stuck, Vibes Up. Kai the Otaku Artist, Halaloth, Slads 95, One Press L2P, Nate NQS, Denser Human Dancer, Evan Deck, Princess Muffin Art, Grapes Soda Base, Lyric 5S, Magic 8, Spin of the Arrow, PKNS2, Cafe Babe, Shonen Jump 247, Static 1, Carmen Achi, Valere 01, and Yazoo GG. Siraj, thank you. Thank you for the 50 gift subs. And good vibes. Good vibes. I know everyone else thanks you for their gift subs as well. That was a lot. That's the most I've breathed. No, I'm good. It's the most I've done a breathe today. That's my biggest breathe.
I'm so glad you breathed.
Me too. Doing a breathe. We got 51 months from Never Challenge the Chat. Chiron8472 gifted 2 subs to Bessident and Captain Luffy. 50 months from Zatoichi. We're on Hype Train 11?
Yeah.
In the morning.
In the morning.
A morning 11. It's been cranked to 11.
It's 9. It's not 11.
I know. We've exceeded the time. We've exceeded the time. Chiron says, you can just call me Chiron. Sometimes people get the numbers, and sometimes they don't.
Yeah, sometimes I read numbers, and sometimes I don't.
It's like it's completely
in the moment.
It's completely vibe based, whether people get the numbers or not. And sometimes even like back to back, like I might read some numbers and then I won't. Why? I don't know. I don't know how to breathe. I only know fine dining. We got 300 bits from MTAP. It just says, Stephen Mount Chat, I put this question to you. If I really want to Switch 2 next Thursday, how early should I arrive at my local Target to get one before the store opens at 8 a.m.? I have no idea. I will tell you that Dan at some point got... Dan at some point was up early to go do an errand the day after the Switch 2 pre-orders went up. So if you remember, GameStop the day after was doing like in-person pre-orders, and they opened at like 11 a.m. And Dan went by at like 8 or something, and he said there was a line around the block. Now, obviously, there's so many variables there, right?
Yeah.
Like where you live, it may not be like that. It may depend on the fact, like maybe people got pre-orders and they feel good, and there will be less people like in person on the release day. Vagabond says, I was with Audoodle at the mall that day, and the GameStop there had like over 20 still left. So, like, that could happen. Yeah, I don't know. Part of me feels like this will be a little easier to get than the original Switch. Because the original Switch was hard to get and also was out of stock for a bit. So, it's hard to say. If you can go early, that will probably help. But, like, how much earlier? I don't know. What I would do is I would base it, if I was in your shoes, I think I would base it on what I was comfortable with waiting. Like, how bad I wanted the thing. So, Mdepit says, I'm going to get there at 8 a.m. That's fine. Like, I would say, personally for me, like, I wouldn't go any earlier than, like, 7. I'd be willing to wait outside of a store for about an hour.
It may depend on the weather, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, past that, I'm like, no. If people want to line up at 5, then I'm like, that's cool. I'll get it later. But everybody's different. But I really don't know. I don't know how it's going to go. And it's also going to be super different depending on where you are in the country, too. So.
Yeah.
We got 54 months from Kayla Crisp, 88. 300 bits from Jet Jet says, morning. The chaos continues. I managed to keep my debit card on me through all my travels, then somehow managed to lose it Sunday or Monday. Guess I have to run to the bank this morning. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
That is a huge pain. You can call the bank too, if you don't want to wait.
Yeah.
But if you're going this morning, then, like, I guess you don't have to call. You can just go deal with it. But yeah, good vibes. Keep an eye on your account just in case someone picked it up and tried to use it. We got 300 bits from Omega Samarts is asking for some good vibes as the shifting weather has caused my sinuses to flare right before vacationing for a week to a convention, hoping to be better right before I leave this week.
Good vibes.
Good vibes.
I woke up stuffy this morning, but I think it's the weather and allergies.
I've had
allergy pill this morning.
I've had some weird. My throat has been scratchy. But you know what I also realized this morning is I haven't used Flonase.
Oh yeah.
In a long time.
Yeah.
I just forgot it existed.
Do you remember the other week when you were like, my ear is like itchy?
That was the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was like a week ago.
Okay. Have you been using Flonase now?
I used it this morning.
Okay, well, it takes a while to build up in your system.
Yeah. I might be good because my throat hasn't itched in 2 days, but there was a few days in a row where it was itchy, and I was like, it's not really something I ever get. Yeah, sinuses suck. I mean, you need them. Did you scratch it? If your throat is scratchy, you have to do this, like, weird, like... It's the only way to, like, do anything. Is you're kind of, like, half swallowing. It's awful. I hate it. And, like, there's no way to explain that. You either know what I'm talking about and you've been there and you've done it, or you're like, what? There's no in between. Also, 23 months from Carsunian 4 and 64 months from Layla 3. Thank you. Sorry for your hiccup.
Thank you.
You had your cookie.
I had my cookie.
Got cookie.
I'll tell the story I told on my stream last night while you eat your cookie.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a new bike, if you missed it, last week?
Mm-hmm.
And new bike has electronic shifters. And I had gone on a 46-mile ride on Sunday. And I was about, like, a mile or two from where I was going to be done. And the shifter died. And I was just finishing a descent, so I was on the hard gear because I was going downhill, so I had it on a harder gear. And the shifter died. And I had 2 more climbs until I got back. And it was dark out by then. And Rachel is set up in a 1:12 ratio, so the front set of gears, there's only 1, and the back cartridge has 12, and I was on the hardest one. And not the easy one. And the shifter died. And on those shifters, you have coin batteries on the front shifters. So this side where my brake is to make it harder, and then this side is to make it easier. And the easier one died. And they use Bluetooth, so like I can look on my phone, and I knew the battery was low, but it told me like it needs to be replaced in like 1 to 6 months.
False.
False. Is there no manual override? No, there is no way to shift otherwise. So they work wirelessly with the derailleur in the back, which is the piece that moves the chain up and down the cassette. So I was like just praying it would work and be like, please, just 2 gears, just anything easier than this one. And it didn't.
There's your problem. Your bike has an app. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes when things are high tech, they're...
The brakes are not electronic, just the shifters.
Yeah, but this, all I'm saying is that...
It's really nice when it works. You just, like, touch it, and it's like... Choo. You touch it, and it's like... Choo.
Yeah, mine also, when you touch it, it changes. As opposed to touching it and hoping that it changes.
Well, now...
It's like, my fridge is connected to Wi-Fi. Like, I don't...
We went and got... I mean, it happened, thankfully, at the end, and not at, like, halfway through a 46-mile ride. It would have really sucked at mile 23. So, yesterday, we went to the store and grabbed coin batteries and replaced it. And then I was like, it's still not working. What's going on? And so I had to research. And then apparently they have to be repaired when they die. So then I had to repair the derailleur with the front 2 shifters in a specific order or it wouldn't work. And then I got it fixed. And then I was like, okay. And now I'm probably good for like a while.
There has been times where I have deliberately not bought things that, like, when given the option between something that has, like, dials and does not connect to the internet versus something that has an app, I buy the thing that cannot connect to the internet. Just because I'm like, I don't want...
Vagabond says, I'm glad you're learning this a weekend. Make sure to keep a few of those batteries on hand. Yeah, we have some now. It's the same batteries that go in, like, air tags.
Yeah.
2032s.
Yeah.
What I do need to get at some point is another... The derailleur uses a special battery that needs recharged, and the thing is, like, this big. I'll have to get another one of those at some point.
Well...
So I can, like, keep it on me when it starts getting low. Be like, well, if it dies on this ride, at least I have the backup.
Yeah, I mean, now that it's been replaced, it will probably take a long time.
The app says, like, 24 months for the coin batteries.
Vagabond says, when we got the new garage motor, the installer guy told me it had internet connectivity after he put it in, and I was horrified.
I am proud of myself, though, that I managed to get home on the hard gear of the bike.
Yeah. Good?
Yeah.
I mean, you always were able to get home.
Walking?
Calling me.
Yeah.
You can always call me. And that's fine. You can buy a camera accessory for every bike accessory Mal buys. I, fortunately, don't need any camera things. Are there things that we could utilize? Probably.
Yeah.
Nothing that I need. I want an app that lets me bypass apps. Morning, Haley. JD, but do you want any? I mean, I actually want the thing that I want right this moment is I want cameras for Mao. I don't want cameras for myself. There's a part of me that wants to change up the painting setup. But you know, that's a lot. So I'm not. It's easier to warrant a camera purchase because a camera purchase is a business purchase and a bike is not. But even so,
it's still money.
Yeah, cameras are expensive.
That doesn't make it free.
It does not make it free. It does not make it free, but it's maybe at some point I'll do something in there. There's several things that I would do, which is the problem, because several things require several things.
Mr. Deathkill says we need a pallet cam. Is there a way to take like a small GoPro-sized camera on a little tripod and like just point it at the pallet that I can switch to?
Okay. I mean, yes, but there's other factors at play.
Mm-hmm.
There's other factors at play. The thing that you start to run into is, unlike the computer we have here in tabletop, which has got a PCI card that takes in 4 HDMI inputs. Your computer does not.
Yeah.
It's a capture device.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want another HDMI input, you either need to change capture devices to something that supports 2, or you need another capture device. I did just fine with 2 Logitech C900s. So you ideally get a splitter. That won't work. You ideally would need either a desktop computer and put one of those Blackmagic cards in it, or something like Blackmagic's ATEM, which you can put 4 HDMI inputs into. So to your capture card, it's 1, but you have 4 on a device and you switch on that device. That sort of thing would work too. So there's options.
These are things that keep you up at night.
The ATEM is actually really neat, but not for our specific needs. If you have one of the ATEM Mini Pro, what do they call it? Maybe it's just the Pro. When you hook up those 4 HDMI inputs and you're doing a stream or whatever, so you're pressing the button to switch what people see, but the device itself records every input individually, which is something that OBS does not do. And that's neat. You know, that means that you could have 4 different things happening and they're all being recorded, they're all in sync, and when you're done, it automatically creates a resolve project file with all of those things in sync. It's really neat, but it's for like if you're going to do a stream and then like edit it down, and we don't do that with your stuff. We make the time lapses, but that doesn't require all of that. So.
Oh, I also forgot to mention that the shifters on the bike had firmware updates.
It's fine. It's fine. I have sat in the garage and let the car install
a firmware
update.
Uh-huh.
And just been like, all right. In fairness, the firmware update is not for the car. It's for
the entertainment
system in the car. But
again, are you sure it's not an e-bike? Bike? Oh my gosh, an e-bike? My legs say it's not
But you've liked the bike,
Oh, I love the bike.
despite the multiple problems you've run into in a very short amount of time of owning the bike.
Okay, one is the tire. That's like not the bike. That's like the tire.
That is a wild statement, but all right. Okay.
The seller's gonna deal with it. I was gonna go see him tonight to get it fixed, but we have other plans tonight, so I can't go see him.
Okay.
And the other is just a battery, and that's fixed now. I did buy the bike used.
Yeah. Soon it's going to be everything is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bike
The
had
tire
been...
is part of the bike? I did not test drive the bike with this tire on it. The tires I was test driving the bike with were old, and he's like, I'll give you newer ones. And he had a box full of bike tires, and he's like, if you ever need tires, I have a problem, so come to me. And the ones he picked were specific for my style of riding and where I ride.
Yeah.
And I think his cats may have, like, just sunk their little tiny baby claws into them. I think that's what happened. I'm not upset. I honestly think it's hilarious. And I've dealt with it and I've been getting by because I know how to change a tube and he'll fix it.
Yeah. But the tires that you bought were tubeless.
The bike that I bought supports tubeless tires.
And you had to change a tubeless tire.
To a tubed tire to get
tubed
me by
tire.
until I can go see him.
Yeah. But you're probably not going to work with tubeless tires, right?
Yeah, I think I might not.
Because you'll die.
Yeah, there's been a lot of latex dealing with that.
Yeah. Quick rundown for those that are not aware. Tubeless tires don't have a tube in them, and you use liquid latex. So maybe don't do that. Maybe just not.
When they're set up and you don't have to fiddle with them, it's really great though, because if you get a puncture on your tire, it automatically seals while you're riding and it doesn't deflate while you're riding. They're really great. If I mess with it, that's a problem. But when they're set up and there's, like, I'm not having the problem I'm having on the rear tire, they're great. The front one's set up and just fine.
I mean, that is neat. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
That's really neat. It's just you are allergic to the whole thing.
Yeah.
You're allergic to the latex inside. You're allergic to the tire.
I could pay a bike shop to deal with it. Whenever I need them dealt with.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we got 300 bits from Shy who says, I got a pair of electronic gauges for work last year, and when I learned it had Wi-Fi connectivity, my only question was, why? What purpose does that possibly serve? I mean, everything connects to the internet. Everything. There are cups that connect to the internet. I don't know that I can think of anything. My books don't. But I bet there's a book that does.
What?
I don't-
A Kindle?
Well, that's too easy. Pretty soon we will connect to the internet. Okay, but you don't get it. The cup knows what liquid I pour into it. I'm not gonna say that some things aren't neat. Because some things are neat. I just don't want to... Shai says, but I'm in the field in random places. There is no reliable internet on the job. So really what you're saying is that your electronic gauges should have had 5G. That's where they went wrong. You have to tether them to your phone. That's the only way to actually use them. We got 38 months from Lola Loves Peaches and 28 months from Candy Lou B. Thank you.
I do really like the bike.
I'm glad you like the bike. I'm glad you like the bike. And I do understand that, like, after... There's going to be some amount of stuff that you, like, have to deal with. And then it'll be good.
Yeah.
It has been unfortunate that there's been many things at once.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is that Mal and I were going to ride together on Friday. And when we went to ride together, Mal had to replace her tire and do all of that, and that took a long time. And was like, okay, well, we're not going to ride today. And I was like, okay. And she's like, well, we'll ride Monday. And I was like, okay.
Also, Dan was arriving on Friday.
Sure. And then yesterday was Monday, and it's like, all right, we're going to ride. And, you know, the battery was dead, so we had to go to the store and buy a battery. And then we came home, and then we were fiddling with the bike, and we had the battery in, but it still wasn't working. And after like 45 minutes of doing this, and then finally learning, like, it needs to have the bitter coating wiped off or it won't work. Then it was like late, and we were like, we're not gonna bike today.
It was also cold out yesterday.
Yeah, but we didn't realize that till we went for a walk.
Yeah.
Once we went for a walk, we were like, oh, it's cool. So I'm kind of glad it didn't work. But still, someday we'll get to ride together.
Yeah.
I don't know when, but like someday. Maybe if we got up early enough tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's possible. Learner, what if today? Not today, actually. Not today because we're gonna have a guest today.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Austin's gonna be in town. So I'm gonna be hanging out with Austin this evening. So that's exciting. I haven't seen him in a bit.
Yeah.
We'll see him anytime he has
Like an overnight here?
Yeah, but he just hasn't had one in a while. But he sent me a message a few weeks ago, and he's like, hey, I finally got an overnight in Raleigh. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Just have Austin ride on the back of your bike. I feel like that wouldn't go well. You can only have people ride on the back of your bike if you have pegs. That's how it worked when I was a kid. It's like there would be a few kids that had pegs, so like they would carry the other kids, which I guess is maybe somewhat dangerous. I don't know. It's probably not that bad. Probably not that bad. Also, no one wore helmets, so that was probably the bigger issue.
Yeah, we didn't ride with helmets when I was little.
Yeah, I didn't have a helmet. No one in the neighborhood had a helmet. We all just rode bikes. Probably more dangerous in your 30s. Both not wearing a helmet and standing on pegs. Yeah. That's not what pegs are for either. They're for like tricks. So like the weight of the person riding the bike, as opposed to a second individual. But I guess when you're children, you're tiny, so whatever.
You're tiny.
It doesn't matter. It's fine. Did I ever tell you I had sorry, I need to sit up because I'm so cool for this. Did I ever tell you that I had a wheelie bar on my Razor scooter?
Did you ever use it?
Yes. I did. You can slouch again. I did some wheelies.
2?
What?
2 wheelies, and then you were like, this is dangerous, and stopped? I saw a kid on a scooter doing wheelies Sunday.
Yeah?
Yeah. An electric scooter.
Neat. I actually have seen Razor scooters in the last few years.
Yeah.
I thought the company was dead, but they're not. The scooters were fun because it was like an easier skateboard. Like you still had to push, And it wasn't as cool as a skateboard, but it was easier to maneuver.
We had a Razor scooter, and I just found it difficult. Like, it was fine in the garage where it was smooth, but whenever we'd get on the road, it was like poured blacktop.
Yeah.
Like the asphalt.
Yeah.
Where it was really rocky and paved. Like
Yeah.
pavers don't like little chunks. Like,
Yeah.
and it was just hard.
You just
And not smooth.
you
and
just
it
do it
sucked.
anyway. You just keep pushing.
I'd just rather get on a bike.
I mean, I had a bike and I had a scooter and I had a skateboard.
We
so it was-
rarely used the scooter because it just sucked to use.
I don't know. The scooter was fun. The scooter was fun because you could do bunny hops so easy. Because the scooter itself was light.
Yeah.
So you could just jump in the air.
We
and
didn't
pull
do any of that.
Oh. I'm sorry. Well, anyway. 62 months from Night Owl and 44 months from Linders. Thank you. Oh, that reminds me. I think I own something.
Trademark says you could technically do bunny hops on a bike. There's people that I know riding that will jump curbs on their bike. And even like road bikes they will, and I'm like, how? He's in the other room now. I just heard, I do. What?
At some point several years ago, there was a game that I recognized that would likely be worth something at some point, and it was still inexpensive. And I was like, this is something I'm just going to buy and hold on to because it's relatively cheap now, but it was a limited edition thing. And that is a sealed copy of Razor Freestyle Scooter for the N64.
Blockbuster.
Because this game was a Blockbuster exclusive. So this was not a game that you could buy at the store. It was a game that you had to rent. Which is a whole other thing that people don't even realize is like a thing. There was a period of time where there were video games that weren't sold.
Save the Razor crew by grinding, jumping, and throwing down tricks.
I also own like a open copy to play, but I have a sealed copy as well.
2-player alternating. Neat.
Yeah. So can we destroy the value? I do have it opened. Where's your sealed? Yeah. So there was a few different games over the years that were Blockbuster exclusives that you had to rent. That was how you played them, which in hindsight is insane. But Razor Freestyle Scooter was one. Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut is probably the most well-known one. Daikatana, I think, was a Blockbuster exclusive. Some sort of racing game. Anyway, there's like several of those. So getting like box copies, even the manual for some of those games is very, very difficult because they didn't sell. Jagged says that's why Clay Fighter is so rare. Yeah, and I think with Razor Freestyle Scooter, I think what happened is they actually ended up selling them at Blockbuster, which is why there's more of these in circulation than Clay Fighter. But with Clay Fighter, I don't think they ever actually did that, which is one of the reasons Sculptor's Cut is so ridiculously rare. And it's also one of the reasons why finding a sealed copy or a box copy of Sculptor's Cut is insane, because that relies on the people at the Blockbuster to have kept all of that long after the fact that the Blockbuster closed down. So I think sealed copies of Sculptor's Cut go for like thousands of dollars, and it's like, well, it's because it would have had to have arrived at a Blockbuster, got put behind a shelf and lost, and then later found and been like, huh, and then put into storage, and then be like, wait, this doesn't exist anywhere. Like, that's the only reason there are sealed copies of that game. This one I think they manufactured and actually just sold at the Blockbuster. But this is fun to see the Blockbuster logo on it. Anyway. Alright. Put it back. My brain like briefly lit up. I was like, wait a minute. I have this, I think.
Maybe. Sappy says, thank you, video game man. He said from the other room, you're welcome. Run beans. I can do that. Ah. I had to stretch. I did it. Yay. I reached and touched the button. Welcome back.
I don't have a lot of sealed games.
Good.
Because I don't
Want them.
Yeah, I don't conceptually I don't like them. I don't like if a game is sealed, I don't mind it staying sealed. But my concept of enjoyment of video games comes from playing them. So I don't have a whole lot of them, and sometimes when I have them, I get rid of them because it's not my. It doesn't bring me like joy. But with Razer, I bought that specifically because I'm like, I'll just hold on to it and sell it at some point.
Ow.
I do still have the sealed copy of Radiant Dawn. Yeah. But I do have an opened copy of Radiant Dawn. So that's what matters the most. There's a few, I think we still have like a few sealed like Wii games. Maybe.
You sure about that?
I don't know. I just know that there's been almost every Extra Life for the past several years, we end up playing a game that we have to like open. There's a lot of sealed Switch games, but that makes sense because those are actually new. Getting an older sealed game, is rarer. Vagabond Crisscross will make it. Yeah, okay. So that's one. I do have a sealed copy of Go-Go Hypergrind.
That was the one I was trying to think about.
Yeah,
I was like, there's one.
Yeah,
I could picture the
and
cover.
if you know what that is, then that's like, oh, I do have that, and we also have an opened version, so we can actually play it. And at some point, maybe I'll do some sort of trade-in to turn the sealed copy of Go-Go Hypergrind into like other games, something else. Renee says, I don't know what that is. It's actually a really interesting game because it was developed by Atlas. So
it's an Atlas game.
Yeah. It's an Atlas game. It was developed in Japan, never released in Japan, and the art was provided by Spumco.
Yeah, that's what I knew.
Which is the animation company that was led by John Kay, who is of Ren and Stimpy fame. So, but it's not like a Ren and Stimpy game. It's a
coyote, isn't it?
On the cover, yeah. It's what's it called when you're skating? Skating. It's a inline skating. Inline skating, is that what?
Like a rollerblade?
Rollerblading. That's the word. I was like, what is that called? It's a rollerblading game. It's a rollerblading game. It's like a it's like a cel shaded cartoon rollerblading game.
That should go on my list this year.
It's apparently it's a ridiculously rare game, like to the point that outside of the copies that we have, I have never, ever seen them in the wild. Ever. Tucker says, like Jet Set Radio. Yeah, probably with less graffiti. But yeah. So, but yeah, it's an Atlas game. Never released in Japan. It's supposed to be really interesting. So, we could certainly play that at Extra Life. Too bad you can't play Jet Set. Yeah, for two reasons. For one, we're not doing a Dreamcast or, I guess, Xbox Extra Life, but then also the soundtrack is, like, the entire soundtrack is...
For Jet Set?
For Jet Set is
Yeah.
in Content ID. Jet Set, Jet Grind. Whichever title you prefer. You could make your own soundtrack. But the IL-10 is so good. I have that on my playlist. Because that just comes up occasionally. Hello, Allison. I want to hold your hand. I haven't been the same man since I saw you coming in. Let's have a toast to the girl in aisle 10. Fun fact about that band. That band is Scapegoat Wax, who later would reform with slightly different members to become, oh God. I'm not gonna remember.
I don't know anything you're talking about, so...
I can't remember the name. Oh, that's so upsetting. You know the really cool music video that Keith Schofield did, where it's playing and then it rewinds and plays different sections?
When I die, bury my bones.
Underneath my grandma's home.
Yeah, that.
And when I'm gone, you're still here. Everything.
Loud and Clear.
Loud and Clear is the name of the song.
Yeah.
What is the name of the band?
I don't know.
Sorry, you're probably thinking of the Beatles. Loud and Clear song. Nope. 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 Let me type in Keith Schofield with it, and that'll probably come up. This is important, everyone. One Block Radius. Jesus, we got there. Scapegoat Wax became One Block Radius, and One Block Radius did Loud and Clear, and Loud and Clear is one of my favorite music videos of all time. We got there. That was a long journey, but that's how I'm connecting Jet Set with this music video. So you're welcome. It's worth your time to watch. It's a very interesting concept.
You know what I've been listening to lately?
The world is a beautiful place.
They have an album coming out tomorrow. They have a new album. The band I went to see in Philly, they got a new album coming out tomorrow.
What have you been listening to?
Sea Power, who did the soundtrack for Disco Elysium. Renee.
I've been listening to my children because it's summer break. Please help. You can drown them out with music. You just turn the music louder. When you said Sea Power, I was thinking of Sea Lab. It's like, you've been listening to the soundtrack to Sea Lab? No one remembers Sea Lab. It's fine. It's a long time ago. Okay, let's talk about the things that are happening.
Tomorrow.
What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Wednesday. What are you playing on Wednesday?
I'm finishing Last Guardian. Sea Lab 2021.
So are you saying it's the last Guardian?
It is the last Guardian. Cat, bird, dog. Bird, dog, cat. Yeah, it will actually be the last one. The final Last Guardian. The last Trico petting stream. It's been a fun game. I was explaining to Mao how it's like really interesting that it's simultaneously like a little annoying, but the annoying bits are also what make it unique.
Yeah.
Because when you play a video game, you want to have control over the video game, and this is one where you really don't have fine-tuned control. But if you had fine-tuned control, it wouldn't be the same game. So I have really enjoyed it because it's one of the more unique games I've played in a long time. But yeah, we'll be finishing it tomorrow. Endearingly annoying, yes. That's a good way of putting it. It is endearing. But it's also sometimes you're like, please. Please do the thing. Trico's like, what? What do you want me to do? But it's been fun. Thursday morning breakfast stream, 9 a.m. And then Friday morning...
I will not be streaming. There will be no Mal stream on Friday morning.
No Friday morning Mal stream this week, because Mal will be preoccupied.
We have guests other than Austin coming. And I will be hanging out with them.
Yeah. And then, in the span of 1 week, we will have had 3 sets of guests.
Yeah.
Because Dan was here.
Mm-hmm.
Austin's going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And we have other guests. Friday night, there is going to be a stream. It just, Mao won't be here, so I will be doing more Super Mario RPG with Haley. And I'm looking forward to that. When we first started Mario RPG, I had said that it would take several years. And I hope that people took me seriously. Because I was being serious.
I can think of another Friday, a couple Fridays maybe, where you could play more of it.
This year? Mm-hmm. All right, well, maybe we'll get further.
Maybe.
And G-Pin says, what even happened last time? We had just finished the boat, Jonathan Jones' underwater adventure time, and gotten back up into the seaside town. So the very, very next thing to do is to fight Yardovich. And then after that, you go through Land's End and get to Monster Town. And I don't know how much further we'll get than that, but we'll see. Shane says, I don't know, there's not a ton left. Maybe like 3 streams? Yeah, so like a year.
Yeah.
A year or so. There is a bit, honestly. Like, because you got to get through Monster Town, you got to do the volcano, you got to do Bowser's Keep, you got to do Smithy's area. So, we haven't been to Nimbus City, Nimbus time.
I do not remember
Cloud
RPG,
Place,
despite playing it like 3 times.
You remember Mallow,
Yeah.
and you remember that he's from the clouds.
That's it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I bet there's probably about 4 streams maybe left. We got 68 months at Tier 2 Gold Toast from Grabobly. And 300 Bits Maldo says, speaking of skating games we can play for extra life, have you tested the new Tony Hawk board yet? I have not.
Did we get another one?
Yes.
When?
We got another one in mail.
We did?
We did. Do you not remember?
No.
Okay. So, Aldo sent us a board, and the board didn't work. I ordered a board. The board didn't work. And then, several months ago, another person, I don't remember now exactly who sent us the board.
We got it. Okay. I didn't know we had 3.
Who sent us the third board? Someone sent us the third board. Was it Kilo Scipio? Because that game store in Virginia Beach still has 2. I think it was Kilo Scipio. So was it not you? Oh.
Nope.
Anyway, someone sent us a third board. The first 2 boards are gone. I got rid of those boards because they are dead and don't work. But that new board we have, it has not been tested. And it was Aldo. Wait, Aldo sent the new board? I thought Aldo sent the first board. Or did Aldo send the first and the third board? Anyway, we have another board. And I will test it.
Okay.
During Extra Life. Live. No, Aldo says I only sent the first board. Okay. I can't keep track of all these boards. Anyway, we do have a third board, and we will play it if a Tony Hawk game gets donated towards.
Okay.
Pegmont says, according to the most recent mail video, it was sent in by an Emily. Emily sent us the most recent one. It probably won't...
I didn't remember we had a third, so...
Cosmic says, check for batteries in it now rather than in 6 months. I think I did. Although I will say, if there are batteries in it... they have been in there for 100 years and it's too late. So there's either no batteries in it and we're good, or the batteries have been in it for 100 years and it's already ruined.
And it's Schrodinger's box of batteries. Are they corroded or not? They are both corroded and uncorroded until you look.
Tell you what. I'll tell you what, folks. I could deal with this now, or I could deal with this during a stream. So on Thursday's breakfast stream, remind me. If you remind me Thursday, I will get the board out live. We'll open it up and check. That'll be our Thursday activity.
Can we do a prediction on it?
We'll
Or
run
a poll?
We'll run a prediction
Are there batteries?
on Thursday of whether there are batteries in it or not. We'll find out. Thursday's breakfast stream is going to be lit. We also had 60 months from Hiss Ranger. That's a 5. Congrats on 5.
I really love this idea.
Thank you.
I'm excited for Thursday.
Me too. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a good time. Okay. Well, that's it. We're done. We're done. Everyone have yourselves a good Tuesday. And I will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern for the conclusion
Trico
of The Last Guardian. You know, at some point, you should just try it. You don't have to play very far. Just try it so you can be like, I get it.
Okay.
I think that would be fun.